What's up, nerds, and have I got a story for you? All right, you guys. So, Superman started filming, right? And we have got a bevy of photos to go over because we've got new pictures of the full-on suit, which I already told you I did an episode last week as of filming this, and I just really liked it a lot. I thought it looked good, and I really enjoyed it. But we'll see how it all turns out and everything in the end. But I just really, really love it. And yeah. So we're going to go through the characters. I think Mr. Terrific is probably my favorite from this, but we're going to go over everybody because I have thoughts. Okay, so the first one we're going to go is, like I said before, is Superman. So this is the Superman suit. Right here, I think it looks pretty good. I think that it looks like it fits, and we'll see a different angle of this photo right here. But we're gonna see some other stuff. Right now, if you look, there's the muscle definition there. And I just think it looks really, really good. He's got like the armor, if you will, which I think that the armor can work depending on which Superman you're trying to do. And I've always said it before that I do trust James Gunn. So I do think that like I said, I like this, so I'm totally fine with it. So this is another angle of him with Mr. Terrific, which we'll get into him in just a second. But I love the S on it. I know a lot of people don't like the S. If you look, though, right there, right by the Krellbow, which is this part right here. This is the Krellbow. This is the elbow. This is the Krellbow. Don't argue. I'm right. If you know what I'm talking about, you're awesome. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you're sorry. Okay, so he's got some kind of like armor. Right. And I do like the bunching around the Krellbow. I think it's because I saw somebody comment that it was because he doesn't have the muscles put into the suit. Like they made the suit a little bit bigger so they could shove in stuff to give him muscles. Like if you look around by the S around the chest area, it's kind of bunching there too. And it's because they need to add all the muscles in, which means I've always thought that, I'm like, don't get me wrong, I like seeing a hot, sexy, buffed out Superman, but it's not necessary. Superman's not powerful because of his muscles. He's powerful because of the freaking sun. Okay. So this next one, he's getting arrested, which we're going to look into all these other characters here, but I just want to talk about this one because we're getting it from a up angle view. I think he looks great there too. My whole thing is just with David Corenswet is his acting. I don't think he's the best actor on the planet. But the only thing I saw him in was that Netflix Hollywood show, and that show sucked. So we'll see. Maybe because I didn't. I'll comment on one person in this because I only got this one picture of him. That's Rick Flag Sr. there on my left, your right. And I don't remember the actor's name, but he's going to voice him in Creature Commandos. But I didn't want to comment on him because he's just wearing all black and doesn't look all that special and everything. We'll talk about the engineer a little bit later. So here he is. There's a closer view of that in a different angle. But I think that I think he looks great here. I love it. I think it's great. I love the bright colors that they've chosen for this Superman. I like the S. I love the trunks. I know some people were complaining about the trunks. Some people were saying they weren't short enough. Some people were saying they were too short. I'm like, no, I think it looks great. I think it looks great. Somebody mentioned on the last video that they're like boxer briefs, and I agree, but I like it. I really do. I just love it. Here's a side angle of it, and I think this looks great too. I just think it looks great. Let's go into the next one. Okay, so here's another view. I really like this view of him. I like that little side pose thing. He looks great. And there's Lois. We'll talk about her in just a minute. But okay, now I want to talk about this. First off, the S on the back. Mwah, mwah, so good. Bravo for him putting that S on the back. I approve 100%. I love the cape. I love the length. I love that it doesn't touch the ground. I love the sleekness of it. I'm glad that he used a practical cape instead of a CGI cape. No offense to Zack Snyder because but I just didn't like it. I like the practicalness of this cape. And then this is him from that angle before, because you see Mr. Terrific's arm there on the side. But he looks great here. I love this look. I think this is Superman to me. He looks like Superman. He's got the great jaw. His hair looks great. I just love everything about this. I think it really, really looks good. So we'll see how it turns out. I know some people don't like the armor factor to it, but I do. Here, this one real quick, and then we'll go to Clark Kent. So this one right here, I love this shot. It's him going into the Metropolis PD, and he's got Ulysses there. That's who that is, but we'll talk about him later. And then look at that, him going in there with the cape swooshing like that. It looks fantastic. I loves it. It's great. All right. So now here's his Clark Kent. This I do not like. He's got a poodle sitting on the front of his frickin' forehead. It looks terrible. I do not like this look at all. I think it looks bad. Look at that. Ugh. I saw somebody put up a picture of Zooey Deschanel, and they're like, how can you tell? How can people, it was one with her on the set of something, and she's got bangs, and then next to it is a picture of her on the red carpet, and her hair has been pulled back into a ponytail. She looks great, but they're like, now I totally get why people couldn't tell Clark Kent was Superman, because look at Zooey Deschanel. You can't tell this is the same person. I was like, that is an excellent point. But I think these fuckers took it way too far. This isn't just bangs. You gave him a Brillo pad on his freaking head. This is screaming Flashdance to me. I don't like it. I don't like this Clark Kent look. It looks terrible. It's like that chick from Star Wars with the puffy thing on her. I can't remember what her name was, but I hated that character anyways. Yeah, this looks bad. It just looks bad. But it is what it is, and I'm holding out judgment in terms of like hardcore judgment, but I'm giving judgment now because I really just don't like this. It looks bad. I don't like this Clark Kent look. Okay, now I want to talk about Mr. Terrific here. Okay, so I don't remember this guy's name off the top of my head. It's Adi Gunanagi. Okay. So I just want to say right off the bat, this is my favorite costume from this whole thing. So I think that if you look at it, it looks, and I'm throwing up a picture also, but it looks comic books accurate in my opinion. And he looks great. It says fair play on the sides, fair play on the back. Now I know some people were comparing this to the CW one, and I thought that one looked okay. And I did see some people not liking the hairstyle on this, but I could not disagree with you more. I think he looks fantastic. Like here he is from the back with Superman. That ass looks great. And he just looks perfect in my opinion. I think that he looks great. I think that I love the T that he has going across his face. I think that looks great. I think sorry, I didn't get it from a front angle, but I think just he looks great in my opinion. He just looks awesome, looks good, looks great standing next to Superman. It'll be fun to see what they do with Hawkgirl and Green Lantern and everything. If it's as good as these so far, then I am all in. I'm so yeah. So there's Mr. Terrific. Sorry I went through that kind of fast, but yeah, he just looks so great, and yeah, I really like it a lot. Okay, so we're gonna get into some of the side characters now, and talk about them. It's mostly the Daily Planet people, but we're gonna talk about them. So this right here is Mrs. Tessmacher, and I don't know the name of this actress, but she really does look great in my opinion. She looks really great. She looks like a sexy woman. She's just ready on the prowl kind of thing. But she is Lex Luthor's assistant. And I think that she looks great. I'm really liking it a lot. And Mrs. Tessmacher was from the 1970s movie. And I think that it'll be really interesting to see where Sarah Sampio, yes, I looked up her name, but what she does with this. But as far as this goes, I think she looks great. And she's wearing like a purple right there. I love the little bracelets. She's got the little bangles. That's what they're called, right? And everything, but they look kind of futuristic, I guess. But yeah, she looks great right here with the blonde hair. Everything looks great. Okay, so now we're gonna get into the Daily Planeteers or whatever, and we're gonna talk about them because I think that from this they're on like some kind of spaceship thing. It looks like, but the main part of this is just that I think they all look pretty good right here. I think that right here, Wendell Pierce as Perry White right here looks great. But he's just wearing like a regular clothes. That's the thing about these non-superheroes like Jimmy Olsen right here. He's just wearing like a Letterman's jacket, it looks like. And then I'll talk about Lois at the end, but I want to talk about everybody else first because they've got smaller roles. Don't expect them to be in it for very long. And so I just want to get it out of the way. But these two look great right here. So then moving on to the next group of people. So we have right here, we have Beck Bennett, which I did a video on that. You can check it out. And he's playing Steve Lombard. And he looks pretty good right here. I think that overall, he looks great. And I mean, but at the same time, he looks like Beck Bennett, you know? And I'm pretty sure, don't expect him to have an overwhelming amount of screen time if you get my drift, because I don't think he will. I don't think any of these people will have a huge amount of screen time. So next to him is the character of Cat Grant, and that is being played by Michaela Hoover, and she's in Cat Grant. They did it on the CW before it went to the CW, but before they moved everything to Canada. But man, her boobs are looking great. But she's the entertainment reporter. And I think that right here, she looks pretty good. Like, she's also got the blonde hair. The actress does not have blonde hair in real life, but she looks good. But again, they're all wearing normal clothing. The same thing right here with Christopher Trope. Is that how you say his name? I'm not quite sure. Or Ron Trope. Ron Trope. His name is Ron Trope, and he's playing. No, Ron Trope is the character, and Christopher McDonald is the actor playing the character. Sorry about that. I got the names mixed up. But again, I think that they even though I think they look great, they just look like people in regular clothes. All right, so let's move on to Lois Lane here. So she's wearing a purple top, which is very reminiscent of her from the animated series. And this picture right here just like reminds me of the animated series, you know, back in the day, which I loved. I grew up with that. I don't know if you grew up with that, but I loved it. I just thought it was great. So I think she looks great here. I mean, I think that the pants look all right. I don't know, but I think she looks really great. She looks like she's like right there. She's ready to go. She's ready to be into the action. I mean, obviously she's not in action right now. She's just got off of a spaceship. But I think that, you know, looks wise, I think that this is just great. I think that it's screaming, you know, Lois Lane to me. I think Rachel Brosnahan, I was a little leery before, but looks wise, I think she looks great. Yeah, I think overall, everybody else just had on plain clothes and looked fine, but she looks really great. I think that she's screaming Lois Lane in these pictures. Okay, and the last thing I want to talk about, and I did say something about it earlier, this is Ulysses right here. And I know some people thought that it was going to be Ultraman. That was the rumor. And then James Gunn put this thing up that said Ultraman is not in this movie, which I kind of didn't believe him. But now that I'm seeing this and people were saying it's Ulysses, I do believe it because, and I'll show you, I'm throwing up some pictures of the character from the comic books, and it looks just like him, except for he's got this mask, which reminds me a lot of Black Noir from The Boys, which worries me on the fact that, you know, will people be all burnt out because they've seen these characters before just in another spectrum? So there he is up close. That's him coming out of the Metropolis PD. And like I said before, he just looks like a bulkier Black Noir. I mean, you know, he looks good in terms of that, but here he is arresting Superman. So it's like this picture from before, but this is actually him throwing him on the ground and then cuffing him and everything. And so there he is from the side. I think he looks good right there. And there's a close-up. I showed this earlier. Now, standing next to him is the engineer. She's also supposed to be a villain in this, and that's Maria Gabriela de Ferreira. I think that's how you say her name. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But she becomes all silvery and she's not that here. So maybe this is beforehand or they're not going to do that. I don't know. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not going to get mad about it. I think the authority is just dumb, but whatever. But I do think that, Ulysses, I think that comic books wise, he doesn't exactly match up from the neck up. But from the neck down, it's fine. It's pretty good. All right, you guys. Well, I think that all of these outfits I think are pretty good, and I'm quite excited for this movie. Yeah, we'll just see how it turns out. I'm hoping it turns out well because again, I've always said this before. I trust James Gunn. I think I like his writing. I like everything that he's done in the past. that I've seen or I can remember. And I just trust him with this movie and with the DCU, So we'll see what happens going forward. Tell me, what do you guys think about all of this? Also, tell me what do you guys think about this Superman suit that has been leaked, and what do you think about Mr. Terrific and all the Daily Planet people and everything, and then Ulysses, the villain of the story and everything. Tell me what you think about all of these people and their costumes and everything. I'm really excited about it. I Again, I will say this. I think the suit looks great. I love everything about it. I love the colors. I love the S. Love the S on the back on the cape. Looks great. Love the cape. Love the shorts. Love everything. I love it except for Clark Kent. Clark Kent's mop dew on his face looks bad, but we'll see how it turns out. I could end up liking it. You never know. And you can do that. You can go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind if you're new to the channel. Please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys next week. You guys have a good week. Bye.